The Rolls-Royce Wraith Black Badge is a super luxury coupe that not only shows the world that you've done well for yourself, but also that you've truly made it. You can't not notice the Wraith really, or any Rolls-Royce for that matter. They're very distinctive and cut a fine figure on the UK's highways and byways. The black badge pack, well, that adds a black Spirit of Ecstasy, a black Parthenon grille, and it has this stunning high waistline and massive bonnet that certainly let it stand out. It's not just the outside though, the inside is stunning. So you get things like the special infinity weave underneath the clock, a special carbon fibre weave on the dash, there's this optional starry night roof which you can spec to your own constellation, which is then verified by an observatory, so it's legit. Basically, this is design and aesthetic perfection inside and out. It used to be said that the loudest thing inside a Rolls-Royce was the clock, but that was only really because the clock was really rather noisy. Now, it's just silent. The loudest thing in here, well, that's your breathing. There is no noise in here at all, not on motorways, country lanes, A roads, B roads, you name it. It's whisper quiet, which is quite surprising considering it has a 6.6 litre turbocharged V12 engine with 624 brake horsepower and 642 pound-foot of torque. And considering this thing weighs 2.5 tons-ish, it'll get from 0 to 62 in 4.5 seconds and onto a top speed of 155 miles an hour. That is some serious power. When one is in a Rolls, one is certainly going to make an impact, but not just because of its striking looks, because of the sheer size of the thing. The Wraith is 5.3 metres long. Now normally that would be something a Rolls owner's driver would have to worry about, but the Wraith is the Rolls you drive yourself. Now, it's not only the length you have to worry about, but also the width. It's knocking on 2 metres wide, which, well, if your depth perception isn't all that, might not be ideal. There are parking sensors all over the place, but you do have to be confident you know how big it is to place it on the road, otherwise there may be some unfortunate scraping noises. All that said, using the Spirit of Ecstasy as a guide is probably a good idea, if you have a raised. Even though the black badge specification is for young men and women in a hurry, according to Rolls-Royce, that means you get a little bit more of its V12 noise pumped into the cabin and a more sporting ride than the more vanilla Wraith counterpart. It's still one of the most comfortable places to be on the road. The leather seats envelop you and the carpet in here is so thick and plush, well, you feel guilty for wearing shoes in it. It is a 4-seater though, but because it's only 2-door, it is a bit of a squeeze to get back in there. It's not the most graceful thing in the world, and when you are there, taller passengers might find it a little bit of a squeeze. The boot as well, it's not so big that you think you could get away with a full cross-continental getaway, though that doesn't really matter because the chances are you're driving your Wraith to a house full of your stuff anyway. You'd expect in a car like this to be lavished with the finest toys money could buy, but actually that's not really the case. Yeah, you can have a digital TV and digital radio, but there's no Apple CarPlay or anything like that, and that screen, well, it's not a touch screen. In fact, it looks an awful lot like BMW's last generation iDrive system, and it looks like that because it is. BMW and Rolls-Royce are on the same team after all. If you're looking for a big super luxury coupe that, well, can eat continents and go very fast in utmost comfort, the Wraith is certainly one to look at. In fact, it falls firmly into our buy category. Normally, at this point in a review, we'd tell you just how to best spec your shiny new car, but in this instance, we'd probably best leave that up to you, because with a Rolls-Royce, well, pretty much anything is possible. Want it in lurid purple with an ostrich skin leather interior, or maybe with diamonds in your paint job? They've all been done before and can be done again. With a Rolls-Royce, what you want is pretty much as far as your imagination can stretch.